In the name of Allah, the widely merciful, the ever merciful. This time we discuss the explanation of Sheikh Mohammad Assara'wi of the verse 30 of the Alnnou'r number 24 in the Noble Qur'an. Part 1. Alnnou'r, verse 30. Left square bracket Mohammed right square bracket say, to the left square bracket male right square bracket believers to lower of their glances left square bracket of what is not legal to look at right square bracket and protect left square bracket that is, keep, prevent right square bracket their private parts left square bracket from doing illegal sexual acts, etc. right square bracket. That is more virtuous for them. Surely, Allah is ever all aware of whatever they work out. End of translation. From the beginning, this surah has talked about the issue of adultery and the throwing and al-musamati, and warned of following the footsteps of the Satan, which lead to this crime, and talked about the equivalence in marriage, and that the adulterer is for the adulteress, and the adulteress is for the adulterer, and that the rotten one is for the rotten ones, and the nice one is for the nice ones. This is a complete perfect system that ensures the safety of the society and the successor of Allah the Almighty in this universe. Thus Allah the Almighty wants a society in which the humane values light up. A society free of all the means of disturbance, violations, feud and hatred. Had we made use of Allah the Almighty's curriculum, which He willed for us, then all would have been comfortable under its shadow. The issue of grave lowering by which we ordered by Allah the Almighty in this verse is the valve that protects us from slipping into these ugly crimes, and blocks the way ahead of. Therefore, Allah the Almighty has said, quote, say to the left square bracket male right square bracket believers to lower their glances. End of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 30 right square bracket. And we said, for man, there are many perception means where each of has certain job, thus the ear hears the sound, and the nose smells the odors, and the tongue is for tasting and talking, and the eye is to see the seen things. But, the more things that allures man, sexually wise, is the sense of vision. Therefore, the wise Sharia has set the necessary immunity in the two sides of vision and in the seeing thing, thus has ordered the male believers with the vision lowering and the female believers by not having their adornment apparent, and so it has made the immunity in the two parties. And as we ponder the issue of the vision lowering from the side mental division, we find that it is evolving about 4 cases. The first, he lowers his glances and she shows not her lowering, and the female believers by not having their adornment apparent. Bullet the first, that he lowers his vision and she shows not her adornment. Thus the lane of the allurement is cut off from the sender and the receiver. Bullet the second, that he lowers his vision and she shows her adornment. bullet the third that he looks at her and she shows not for adornment and no danger for the society or alluring in these three cases. As one side existed, the other exists not. Bullet the fourth, here, where the danger is, where he looks at her and lowers not his vision and to put her makeup and shows it, then in this case only, the danger resides. So, the right Almighty has forbidden 4 cases, that is, because the forbiddens are always the less, and this is due to Allah the Almighty's mercy with us, by the indication of his saying, Surah Al-An'am, verse 151. Quote, say, come, I will read what your Lord has prohibited on you. End of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 151 right square bracket. Left square bracket the forbidden ones are the limited the counted, but the allowed left square bracket that is, halal right square bracket ones are limitless and countless. The basic of things is its being halal, and has Allah the right wanted to disallow something, he contexts it. Thus look at this nice feeling from your Lord the Almighty. And as the man has been ordered to lower his vision, so the woman has been ordered to lower her vision, because the alluring can be of the side of the handsome man and ellipsis points, what is said in men can be said in women. These are the precautions and the limits that Allah the Almighty has set and imposed on us are only to prevent this ugly crime, by which this year I have started, because looking is the first mean of adultery, and it is the male for what comes after. Don't you see the poet Shawty, while talking about the stages of love, said, a smile, a greet, a talk and a meeting. Thus, ordering to lower the vision is to block the outlets of the spoiling of the honors, and to prevent the linkage contamination. So the successor of Allah the Almighty is to come out pure in a pure, clean honorable society in which none rises above another by bragging that he has a linkage and honor and the other has not. That is for every human to feel reassured that whoever will follow him in the succession of sons and grandsons are but has come from a legal honorable means. So every person will indulge diligently in raising his children in a way in which are compassion, affection and mercy, because he is confident that the child is his and is not being cheated in it. And the most of thought is that those who neglect their children and take care not of them are doubting their linkage to them. The society reaches not to this level of purity, but if the enough maintenance has been guaranteed for it, so that the instincts of sex does not rebel, thus each vision transgresses on whatever is not legal for it, because seeing is the male to the hearts, and the hearts are the male to the sex, and the sex tools chaste not but by the chaste of the vision. And we notice in Allah the Almighty saying, quote, say to the left square bracket male right square bracket believers to lower their glances. End of quote. Left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 30 right square bracket. the accuracy of the Prophet's informing for his Lord and his trust in transferring the phrase as it came down. Thus in this verse, it was enough for the messenger, peace be upon him, is to say, quote, lower your glances, end of quote, but he committed to the context, as it came down on him, peace be upon him, because the noble Qur'an has not come down just for the judgments, but the noble Qur'an is the downed talk of Allah the Almighty on his messenger, peace be upon him, the Prophet that worships his Lord by this book. Then he, peace be upon him, must pass it through, just as it came down from his Lord. Therefore he, peace be upon him, said in the informing for Allah the Almighty, quote, say, end of quote. The meaning, that you, peace be upon him, are to say to them, to lower your glances, and order. So, quote, say, end of quote, indicates the trust and honesty of the Prophet, peace be upon him, in the informing, and that the noble Qur'an did not come down only for the rules, but as well, it is the talk of Allah the Almighty, the miracle. Therefore we preserve it and every word in it, as the Prophet, peace be upon him, is saying to us, I did not bring anything from myself, and my role is to only inform you what He, Allah the Almighty, told me. Then Allah the Almighty says, quote, to the left square bracket male right square bracket believers. End of quote, left square bracket Alnnou'r, verse 30 right square bracket. As long as they are believers in one ayah, and have entered the yard of faith with their own choice and none coerced them, thus they must oblige to what their Lord has ordered them.